The Bahamas will vote in favor of the UN General Assembly resolution condemning the 5 decades-old U.S. embargo against Cuba come tomorrow.
Cuban ambassador to the Bahamas, His Excellency Ernesto Guzman, says the Bahamas has once again confirmed its support for the United States ending its 50-year embargo against the island.
Now, the Cuban ambassador says the embargo has done what he calls, quote, astronomical economic harm to the country, amounting to more than $1.1 billion in losses.
Today, the ambassador thanked the Bahamas for its role in assisting in ending the embargo.
For example, every year, the Bahamian government, they respond a note of the United Nations Secretary General. He circulates a note every year around April, and he requests to all the countries that they inform him about the effects of the blockade during the last year. So the Bahamian government, along with the rest of the governments around the world and international organizations, they always respond the note of the United Nations Secretary General. So this is another help that we receive from the Bahamas.
The Ministry of Health has received a report of a single confirmed case of V. vulnificus in an elderly person here in the Bahamas. The bacterium is rarely found to cause infections in humans, but the ministry says that an infection usually occurs after the consumption of raw wilks and other similar shellfish such as oysters, clams, and mussels. The bacteria requires salt water to survive. Persons with weakened immune systems and open wounds are at greater risk for infection as they can be exposed through direct contact with seawater containing the organism. Now, there is no evidence of person-to-person transmission.
The chair of the advisory committee searching for a new president of the College of the Bahamas, retired Justice Ruby Nottage, says just 1 month after announcing the recruitment phase of the executive search, she's pleased with the response as the application deadline of October 31st approaches. Mrs. Nottage said that a goodly number of applicants have been received from Bahamians performing in senior leadership positions, both locally and abroad. She also reiterated that the successful candidate must be a Bahamian citizen with preferably an earned doctorate degree, but not necessarily in the field of education, in addition to having unquestioned integrity and the capacity to inspire confidence and trust both nationally and abroad. The College Council, the body that will make the final decision on the advice of the advisory committee's short list of candidates, fully expects the new president to be appointed and in place by fall of 2014. Well, it's time for the poll question of the week. This week, we want pollsters to respond to the question, should the Bahamas implement a value-added tax system? The government is looking to introduce the system in the Bahamas next year.
Well, what do you think? We want to hear from you, and you can respond to our question by logging on to our website at www.znsbahamas.com. Now, the results of the poll, as with last week's poll, will be released on Friday. Well, coming up in Family Island news, good news for farmers on Andros. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
This is your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm Andrew Knowles. Club Med officials say the multi-million-dollar redevelopment of its San Salvador property is significant as it will reposition the resort as its flagship of premier properties around the world. Meanwhile, developers behind the expansion, Sand and Ocean Limited, says key to its development is an involvement of Bahamian resources, both people and materials.
We are committed to providing training and growth and increasing employment potential for local people. The project has a long-term focus which matches our own. We are not interested in making quick returns and leaving this beautiful country. We are here for the long term, and we have pledged to be here for the duration.
There's a new chairman of the Bahamas Financial Services Board. Prince Raming, Territory Senior Partner of PricewaterhouseCoopers, was elected chairman of the private sector-led organization that represents and promotes all sectors of the country's broad-ranging financial services industry. He was elected during the board of directors meeting last week. He replaces Paul Winder. BFSB's CEO and executive director Aaliyah Allen says Raming's expertise and leadership skills will be of tremendous value to BFSB and the industry. The board also elected C. James Schaefer and Timothy Colclough as co-deputy chairs. And in international business news, fast food vendor Burger King has reported higher profits as sales increased outside the U.S. The U.S. restaurant chain said its better than expected profits for July to September period of this year were due to cost reductions and more franchising. Burger King's net profit rose to $68.2 million. However, sales at its North American branches fell 0.3%. This has been your Raw Fidelity Business News. I'm Andrew Knowles.